Thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. I'm super excited to have Mikaela Brewer. She plays for Stanford's women's basketball and also for the Canadian national team, which is pretty cool. It's actually very cool. And the workshop today will have two parts. We're going to have the Q&A, and then she's going to be teaching us a little bit of basketball passing, and we're also going to play basketball tag. Has anyone played that before? Couple people? Okay.
It's fun, right?
Yeah.
Are you gonna win? I'm watching you.
I like the confidence. So, Mikaela, can you just start by telling us a little bit about yourself? Where did you grow up and how did you fall in love with basketball?
Wow. So I grew up in a very small little town, just north of Toronto. So I'm Canadian. Let's see. I didn't start playing basketball until I was maybe 7 or 8. So I was pretty young. But I guess apparently that's late now to start playing basketball, which is crazy to me. I don't know. I think I watched it on TV. I watched other people play, and I really liked beating the boys at recess. So that's probably how I really fell in love with it. And I just kind of stuck with it for the next, I don't know how long, 12 years now. I've been playing for 13 years. So, yeah.
Wow, and what's your life like now playing for Stanford and for Team Canada?
It's pretty chaotic, but it's a lot of fun. At Stanford we practice or train or lift weights or watch video and whatnot probably 4 or 5 hours every day. So it's a big commitment, and then it's like that too when I go to like Canada basketball camps and stuff. So it's a big commitment, but it's definitely worth it, and you meet a lot of people. Build a lot of really cool relationships, make a lot of friends. I know my teammates that I've played with over the years are my best friends, and they're the ones who are gonna be there for me and probably be at my wedding when I get married. So yeah, it's definitely an experience that lasts a lifetime, and you don't play for very long. So yeah.
And how is playing for Stanford different from playing for Canada?
I would say definitely the pace, like the speed of the game is a lot faster in the States versus in Canada. But then it's also like a whole other level internationally playing for Team Canada. So it's different. It's different the way you play the game internationally versus in college. And then also I'm in school here, so trying to balance like my major and everything I want to accomplish academically. And basketball is another challenge that maybe I don't have when I'm playing with the national team.
So Mikaela was actually awarded by the Pac-12 for being very good academically and also on the court. So how do you balance everything? Because I really struggle with that.
I think it's a struggle for everybody. But I mean, I have a planner and I have basically hour by hour everything I need to do during the day. And so like I will allot time, like, okay, for this 2-hour chunk of time that I have, I'm going to work on this essay or study for this test. And very, very organized, a lot of time management skills that you acquire as you get older. But it's definitely challenging. I think for me that what makes it easier is that I have all my teammates who are kind of in the same boat, so we'll work on our homework together in the hotel room. Sometimes that turns into more TV watching, but
my homework is the same way too.
Yeah, Netflix comes on like multitasking. But yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's worth it for sure.
And what are some of the challenges that you face playing basketball and just trying to do well academically?
Yeah, I think one of the hardest things is trying to find time to eat, which is really, really important. Eat your vegetables. Trying to find time to eat and like go to meals, especially lunch, because like in the middle of the day, that's really difficult. And fatigue, you definitely get tired, even if you are getting a good amount of sleep at night. You're still just going to be tired from practicing for 4 hours every day and then trying to go to class for probably another 4 hours. And by the end of the day, by like 7 or 8 o'clock at night when you need to do homework, you're like, no. So yeah, that's probably hard. I have a new love affair with coffee now.
And how do you push through the challenges? What keeps you motivated?
Yeah, I think one of the hardest things athletes struggle with, especially as you get into like higher level sports, is staying motivated and remembering the fact that you love the sport and why you started playing in the first place. And I'm motivated by you guys and by my little sisters who are all about your age, which is kind of fun for me. But yeah, holding on to why you started playing in the first place and what it means to you, and like moments like this where I get to come and talk to you guys, or I don't know, seeing the fans in the stands cheering for us all the time, even if we like airball a 3 or something, which has happened. But remembering why you played.
And did you have a role model that got you interested in basketball?
I looked up to a lot of other girls in my community that played basketball, so especially girls that were maybe 2 or 3 years older than me, who I actually got to play against a little bit, or play with. Definitely, or my mom and teachers and whatnot, but yeah.
What's the importance of having a team like that, someone you can always rely on?
Yeah, it's really special, and I think, especially at Stanford, I think we have a really unique situation where our team is so close, and we're there for each other through thick and thin, and I'm very lucky to have that. I don't think all teams have that, especially in college when it gets really competitive. So that's really valuable and really important. And having that kind of close group of friends or people in general that you can count on and that believe in you and trust you, and you reciprocate that, that's really important. And I'm very lucky to have that here.
What advice do you have for girls like us who want to grow up and play basketball?
Yeah, well, not even just basketball, but like do anything. It's it's a lot of hard work, confidence, genuinely being passionate about and loving what you do. I think don't do something because everybody says you should do it, or because you're going to get a lot of fame or kudos for doing it. Do it because you love it and because you're passionate about it. And because it kind of like sparks that little thing inside you that you don't know how to explain. I would say, and be confident. Be confident whatever you do, which is easier said than done, but yeah.
Do you remember a moment when you realized like basketball is what I want to do and this is what I really love?
I think so, yeah. And it didn't really happen until later. Basketball kind of picked up really fast for me when I was maybe around 13. I got invited to try out for the national team, and like it was really going fast. And I didn't.
What was that like? What did they have you do? That's a lot of pressure.
It was a lot of pressure. It was a lot of pressure, and I didn't really know. Like I just thought, that's the right thing to do. I don't think I really knew at the time that I was going to end up loving it as much as I did. And I don't think, my moment didn't really happen until maybe a couple years later, and we were playing Japan, I think, and it was maybe like a semifinal or something. I should know this, but I don't. Semifinal, and we were down 2, and there was like a second and a half left on the clock, and I actually hit the game-winning 3.
Wow.
And I was like 15. I was like, what? I was like, what? And it was just like, in that moment, like the team rushing the floor and like all the energy and everything. Obviously, that's like a big, huge moment, and that probably will be one of my biggest basketball moments for the rest of my life. But just in that moment, like, and seeing the crowd and like everyone like waving the Canadian flags and all that stuff, like I kind of just, in that moment, I was like, okay, you know what, this is what I want to do, and I really love it, and I loved the energy, and that kind of motivates me to keep working hard every day when our coaches say, okay, you got to run up and down the floor 500 times, and you're like, oh, I don't want to do that. You remember why you're doing it.
I I really don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't, it's not fun, but there's fun that comes as a result of it.
What's your favorite part about playing basketball?
Ooh. I mean, favorite, like, basketball thing is probably, like, have you guys heard, like, the term, like, breaking somebody's ankles? Like, if you, yeah, that's fun.
I'm not familiar.
It's like if you're dribbling and you make a really good, like, move with the ball and the other person, like, falls over who's defending you. It's not nice, but it's kind of rewarding.
I love your honesty.
I mean, yeah. That's fun, but I would, like, in super honesty, I would say, like, my teammates and, like, the relationships that you get out of playing basketball, like, your coaches, teammates, like, you're not going to remember, like, I don't remember scores of games. I don't remember how many points I got. I don't remember anything, like, statistically, but I remember probably every single person I've ever played with and how close I was to them and the relationship I have with them. Like, I still talk to girls that I played with when I was 13, 14, 15. Early years of basketball, I still talk to them, like, once a week. Like, we're still really, really close, and I haven't played with them since then. And so, yeah, definitely the relationships.
What role has confidence played in your success?
Yeah, so I definitely think playing a sport helped me with my confidence because obviously to keep climbing and get to the next level in basketball, you can't do it if you're not confident in yourself. And I think a lot of times with athletes, there's, like, this fine line with, like, being confident versus being, like, too confident or cocky. And that was something to tackle when I was younger, especially as I started getting better at basketball. It's like, okay, I need to be confident in myself, but I don't want to be like, I'm the best and yeah, whatever.
My brother should take note of that.
I think a lot of boys need to take note of that. But basketball definitely helped me with my confidence outside of it as well, and, like, my speaking skills, my public speaking skills, because basketball, you have to communicate to your teammates all the time, and you got to yell because the crowd is so loud. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that have played into that, but yeah.
Is confidence something that you just had, or did you have to build it over time?
I definitely had to build it. I think one of the hardest ages, like when you're in grade 5, 6, and 7, and, you know, you're just, a lot of things are changing during those times, and you're kind of growing into a little bit who you are, and I definitely struggled through that period as well. Even with playing basketball, I was that girl that played with all the boys at recess and beat them, but still was. But yeah, you get picked on or whatever, like, oh, you're too tomboy, or you're too this, or you're too that. And I did really well in school too. So it's like, she's a nerd, and it's like, whatever, you're just jealous. But that definitely was hard to develop. You have to kind of be like, the say no to the haters kind of thing. But yeah, it was hard. But I think basketball helped me do it for sure, because it was something I could go to and be like, I know that I can go to this and enjoy it and be confident in it. And then it helped me with other parts of my life.
Awesome. Girls, do you have any questions?
Yeah.
Did you play multiple sports growing up?
I did. Yeah, I played soccer, volleyball, and I actually ran track before I started playing basketball. So I was a track athlete before basketball.
Oh my God, I can barely do one sport. It's impressive.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yeah.
When did you start really liking basketball?
When did I start really liking basketball? I would say I was 14. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever not really liked a teammate, and how did you work that out?
That's a great question. Yeah, I mean, by nature, you don't always get along with everybody. So I have had teammates that I didn't get along with as well as others. But you know, you don't necessarily have to like somebody to be respectful of them and show respect towards them and then reciprocate that. So yeah, you don't have to be best friends with everybody that you meet or everybody that you're going to interact with a lot. You know, you're not going to always like your boss or whatnot, but yeah.
Does that play out with your opponents as well, and like when you're just playing someone else on the field, or sportsmanship in general?
Yeah, I think sportsmanship is huge, and you know, obviously, you're when you're playing, you know, there's always that team that you're like, we hate them, but
For you, it's Cal.
yes, we don't like bears over here, but you know, you show respect, and I think the way you carry yourself and your demeanor, and it's always respectful, and or it should always be respectful, regardless of how you personally feel about the other team or another teammate or whatnot. So it just shows you the bigger person too. Oh gosh, we got lots.
Yeah. In the back.
How old were you when you were on your first team?
When I was on my first basketball team, oh my goodness, I was 8 or 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you're better than somebody else in basketball?
Do I ever feel like I'm better than somebody else? I guess, yeah. Yeah.
How do you keep that balance though? How do you stay grounded?
Yeah, so one of my coaches always used to tell me, fear nobody but respect everybody. And so, you know, the whole fear nobody part is like always believe that you either can be better than the person you're competing against or are better than the person you're competing against, but show respect towards them. So don't like trash talk them and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite TV show?
Interesting question. I'm not a TV show person. I like movies more. So I'm going to say my favorite movie is probably Saving Mr. Banks. I don't know if anyone has seen that. Maybe not. But yeah, that's my favorite movie.
When you didn't want to play basketball, how did you change your mind to play?
That's a good question. There are definitely times when you question it, especially if you're in a hard practice and you're like, oh boy, this is the last place I want to be right now. And I think kind of like a little bit what I talked about earlier, just kind of remembering why you love basketball and that you love your teammates and that there's a reason why you started playing and why you get up and do it every day. Even if, you know, the one moment that you're in is really, really hard. And so just finding reasons to stay motivated.
Yeah.
Have you ever missed like a basketball practice?
Yes, I have. I've had some injuries and I've been sick before. Yeah, I have. Who hasn't gone yet?
Go ahead in the front.
What would you most commonly say that you got injured? Like, what was the most common thing that, if you were out, what would you be injured?
Let's see. I've had a kind of a bunch of different injuries. Like I've dislocated my shoulder. I've had a concussion. But I think the one I've struggled with the most is my Achilles, which is like this guy right here. So I partially tore my Achilles my freshman year here. So that was tough. And then I've kind of had, it's just kind of been sore ever since. So sometimes I'm out to make sure it doesn't get aggravated. But I think that's from track. So I did it to myself.
How do you,
Yeah.
how do you like fight through those injuries and just keep going even when you're out?
Yeah, it's tough like being on the side and not being able to practice and not being able to compete. I think my teammates are always great with that. Like they'll come over, like they'll be in the middle of a drill or whatever, and if they're not in the drill in that moment in time, like they'll come over to the sideline and like give me a high five or say like, you know, here we go and whatnot. So the environment that I'm in is definitely helpful with that.
Yeah.
How often do you have your games?
How often do I have my games? We play, well, right now we're out of season, so we're kind of having like a bit of a break. We're still training, but not as much. But during the year, we play every Friday and Sunday. Yeah.
Have you ever won like a major tournament or competition?
Yeah, so when I was, like for Stanford or in general?
Just in general.
In general, let's see, I was part of the team that got silver at the World Championship a couple years ago, which was really fun. And then this year we won the Pac-12 championship. Yeah, and almost got to the Final Four for the NCAA tournament, but not quite.
Do you like to be competitive or not competitive?
Well, I think basketball is competitive by nature, so I am competitive, yeah.
How do you balance, your competitiveness with just helping out the other team and being kind in general?
Yeah, so, well, it depends on if we're playing Cal or not, but if it's Cal, not applicable. I'm kidding. Ooh, that's a good question, actually. I mean, kind of like what I was talking about earlier, like with respect, like you always want to show respect, but then competitiveness is, I don't know. They're a little contradictory at times, but I guess, what happens on the floor or what gets said on the basketball court and whatever stays on the basketball court. And so that's like a big thing on our team. Like, we're gonna like nip at each other and say little side comments, just being goofy and, whatever happens on the basketball court, whether basketball-wise or verbally gets left on the basketball court. We don't carry it with us anywhere. We go outside of basketball, so.
Awesome. So as we transition into the activity now, could you just tell us a little bit about your basketball training routine and what you do at practice every day?
Yeah, so our practices are quite long. We do a lot. We do a lot of, like in the beginning, we do a lot of like ball handling practice and shooting practice to get warmed up, some stretching and whatnot, and we kind of do all that together. Then we actually play a lot. We do like variations of playing, like we'll play 3-on-3, we'll play 4-on-4, and then we get up to 5-on-5 to like work on our offense, work on our defense, do a whole bunch of different drills related to that. But on my own, if I'm going to go to the gym on my own, it would be mostly like working on my ball handling or working on my shooting, working on my passing. Yeah.
Awesome. So we're going to jump into the activity now. Do you want to just describe it?
Yeah. So the first thing, how many do we have, do you think?
Like 25.
Yeah. Actually, that's perfect. Okay. So one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to get into, like, I guess groups of 3, I want to say. That would work. 8 times, yes. Math. Okay. Groups of 3-ish, and so you guys can pick your groups, that's fine. Or actually, wait, no, I lied. You're going to try and go in a group of 3 with 2 other people that you don't know. And I'm going to teach you a little bit how to pass, and then we're going to do like a passing game where you're going to say your name and then say another person in your group's name, and you're going to pass amongst each other, and then we're going to make the group bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until we have everybody, and then we're going to try and see if we know everybody's name.
Sounds fun.
That's going to be our warm-up, and then we're going to play tag. And you're going to win, right?